Hi everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 4, Episode 1. Fresh powder, fresh start. Okay, here I am. I was not going to recap this year at all after last season, but damn, they got me with this opening and I just had to talk about it. So I think what I'm going to do, I've done this before. I've had this plan before and it didn't work out, but I really mean it this time. These are going to be short. I will cover it, but I'm going to be really pretty brief about it and see how it goes, because if there isn't anything good happening, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm only going to talk about the highlights. And maybe this will be kind of an exercise that helps me with my other recaps too, because I do tend to ramble, as I'm doing right now. So let's get started. All right. Season 4 opens with a crack of thunder. The screen says Bermuda, May 10th. 2023. We see someone's leg, like some guy. The camera's on the floor, and it's like the angle is just like of the floor and this guy's standing there. We hear a phone ring, and we hear Heather's voice. Hey, what did you find out? Are you kidding me right now? Shut the fuck up. All right, we are outside Heather's room. I assume Bermuda is the girls' trip. So this is like, is this another hot mic moment from the girls from Salt Lake City? Because wow, for some reason they can't remember they're still mic'd, even though the camera isn't in the room, I guess. Anyway, the guy starts walking toward the camera, picks up the camera, and he's pointing the camera outside Heather's door. You can again hear Heather's voice. How could she do this to us? I am freaking the out. Then the producer tells the cameraman, just go in. So he does. We're walking in to Heather's room. She's on the balcony. She turns and she goes, no, you guys, seriously. She's pushing the camera away. So the door slams and you can hear Heather like sobbing. And she's whispering, how did we all fall for it? That is how season 4 opens. I'm going to tell you right now, though, you guys, if that's about Jen, I'm going to be pissed, because we know all that. Yeah, she tricked everybody. She lied. She's in prison. So if this is about her, that's going to annoy me greatly. Now we move into like the weirdest opening ever. I don't know if this is like their taglines. It's the women in pairs. You can hear them as a voiceover reading like these spooky Bible passages, or like, I don't know, from the Book of Mormon, maybe. I don't know. I'm not much of a fan of organized religion, so I don't really know where they're from. But it's like, first you hear Whitney's voice and the screen says Psalm 55. And, whatever she's saying, then you hear Heather. So it's like those two are still fighting this year. Then Angie K. What? Angie K. Yeah, the girl got herself a snowflake. I am shocked, because I remember last year, I thought she kind of burned that bridge when she got into some kind of argument with Bravo about not paying her for her confessional outfits or something. Like she wanted to be reimbursed for her clothing. I'm very surprised that she is a full-on housewife this year. I'm not disappointed, but I'm pretty surprised. I'm not sure how she negotiated that. Anyway, you see Micah 7:5, and she says, put no trust in a neighbor. Then you hear Meredith saying the rest of that verse. So I guess like Angie K and Meredith are fighting this year. Then we have Lisa with Peter 5:8. The other person in that one is Monica. So Lisa and the new girl Monica are in a feud, I guess. This is just my guess as to why they're opening it like this. Because the verses are not, flattering or anything. Lisa and Monica's is like about the devil. So I should also say that while we're hearing the women's voiceover, we're seeing like upcoming scenes from the season. So I can also, I can tell that they're yelling at each other about something. So it is just the 6 of them holding snowflakes at the beginning. But I do happen to know that Mary Cosby is coming back, maybe just as a friend of. All right, now the screen says 4 months earlier. We're back in Salt Lake City. We've got Lisa getting ready for Sundance. They don't call her the Queen of Sundance for nothing. I don't know. Is that what they call her? Because she knows how she plans and organizes everything. And just to prove it, we have her yelling at people and telling them to move couches and chairs around the room. So perfect. Anyway, she and her husband, John, are in the car and they're discussing Jack, their son, who is a senior in high school. And last year was all about, is Jack going to college? Where's he going to go to college? Or is he just going to be, the president of Fresh Wolf, the company that he owns with his little brother that really Lisa owns, but whatever. We get the shocking news that Jack has decided to do a mission. I guess it's a Mormon thing, but I guess it's 2 years of devoting yourself to the service of others. And so he is not going to college. Fresh Wolf will have to run itself or be run by her younger son, the 9-year-old. I don't know how Fresh Wolf will survive without Jack's input, but she's kind of in shock. John doesn't ever seem to be shocked by anything. I think that's why he can tolerate being married to Lisa, because she's just gives running commentary and he just kind of nods along. Anyway, she's distraught, not because, look, she's happy that he's doing something with the church, but she's upset because I guess he had been planning it for a year behind their backs, kind of. Didn't tell either of them anything about it. So she's not feeling great about that part. In the next scene, we see Heather shoveling snow in high heel boots in front of her new mansion. She's lived in the same house for years and years and years. When they were married, raising the kids. After they were divorced, she stayed in the house. Now that the kids are older and, moving out, she's got a house that's 3 times the size of her old one now. No, I mean, look, she can do what she wants. She bought it with her beauty lab and book money, I guess. Her book, is on the New York Times bestseller list. I feel like all the housewives kind of make it onto the New York Times bestseller list, but I do want to read Heather's book. I do. And some of the other housewives. I toy with this all the time, you guys. You know that. I throw these things out and then I never do anything about it. But I do think it would be fun to try and figure out how to do some kind of a book club thing here on my channel. If I wasn't so afraid to live stream, that would be a way to do it. We do a couple chapters a month or something. I don't know. Well, I'm still working it out. But anyway, I thought it would be fun to go through all the housewives books, of which I've read 0 so far. So it's a thought. All right. So Meredith comes over to visit and she literally hands Meredith Marks a shovel, which I can't even imagine doing. It would be like handing Heather Dubrow a shovel. Here, help me shovel. Anyway, they quickly go inside and they're chatting about things. And Heather tells her that she spoke to Whitney for the first time in a very long time, months. Whitney and Heather are going to attempt to start over with each other. This was Heather's idea. Heather went over to see Whitney and she said that she wanted to start over with her. And Whitney said, well, okay, but we have to be able to trust each other. So they're just going to try. Now, Meredith and Whitney, not so much. Meredith isn't pleased because apparently Whitney has done an interview with the New York Post where she identified Meredith and Seth taking a bath together as creepy and filled with bacteria. I mean, where's the lie? I do give Meredith credit for reading the interview in a pretty decent Whitney voice. I prefer to bathe alone. How much DNA is in a bathtub? I love when the housewives imitate each other. Anyway, Meredith goes, well, I don't know how much DNA is in your hot tub. I mean, my housekeeper cleans my bathtub every day. Every day? Damn. How dirty is it? Now I'm agreeing even more with Whitney. Okay, now in the next scene, we are at Meredith's shop in Park City. And as I live and breathe, if it isn't Mary Cosby walking up the street, while we just watch her approaching, we get a montage of all her favorite hits. Jen smelled like hospital, which to this day remains my favorite insult, to tell somebody they smell like hospital. I love it so much. And you can go, little girl. Your kids need nutrients. I think both of those were directed at Whitney. I'm not sure. But all I know is I have missed Mary Cosby. I have missed her because she's the one housewife that I think might actually be literally insane. I cannot get enough. It has nothing to do, she's not a drinker. It's not like she gets super drunk and then she's funny no. Her real personality, her true self is so wacky. I cannot get enough. Mary has a confessional, so I hope it means that she's going to be on often. She said, you better buckle up because here I am. Yes, she is back. I mean, look, she and Meredith go to lunch, but I can't just jump over the fact that she was struggling to get into the store and Meredith is like, oh yeah, the door sticks a little bit, but Mary could not let that go. Yeah, you're going to have to fix that. You should fix that door. That's not right. You should fix that door. I love her. All right, so they go to lunch and Meredith said, you've got to catch me up. How's Robert Sr. and Robert Jr.? And she said, they're good, they're fine. In her confessional, she tells us that Robert Jr. has a new girlfriend, but everyone's telling me it's his wife. Do you see what I mean? What? The producer said, well, haven't you asked him? And Mary goes, I haven't had a chance. And the producer goes, doesn't he live with you? He does. Oh, God. Mary just shrugs. Just didn't get a chance. Didn't get a chance to ask her son if his girlfriend is actually his wife. Then we find out that Robert Sr. just got back from Las Vegas, and he had been there for about 6 months. So the producer asked Mary, oh, he was there for 6 months? How was that for you, Mary? It was good. Yeah, it was. For those of you who don't remember, which I don't know how you could not remember, but maybe you've never seen this show before, Mary is married to her grandfather. Yeah. She married her grandmother's husband. So anyway, she asks Meredith about herself, but all she really wants to know about is, how are you feeling about Jen? Because Mary loves that Jen is in prison. Meredith goes, oh, I mean, she pled guilty and she's going to prison for it. There's not really anything more to say about it. And Mary's like, I believe in karma. So she's interested in what this is going to be like without Jen. And I'm wondering if this is why Mary agreed to come back, because Jen's gone? I'm not sure. I mean, Mary herself is not without her own legal woes. You know, she runs that church and supposedly a lot of shadiness surrounding that as well. A lot of shadiness about her grandmother's inheritance and all that. So, you know, but everything combined, she really was the best part of Salt Lake City. So maybe that's why the last season was so bad, because we didn't have Mary. I don't know. Okay, next it is lunch with Angie K, Monica, the new housewife, and Lisa Barlow. Monica met Lisa and Angie K through Jen. That's how they know her. According to Lisa, Monica looks very different because when I first met her, she had blonde hair and fair skin. Okay, so she dyed her hair dark and got a tan and what? You can't pick her out of a lineup? Okay. So Monica tells us that she stepped in to help Jen after Jen fired one of her assistants. Then one day, Jen asked her if she wanted to be rich. She's like, do you want to make like $600,000 a year? All you have to do is put this, this, and this in your name. Yeah. She said, I was freaked out, so I called my friend who's in the Secret Service, and he said, get the fuck away from Jen Shah because she's going to prison. And that was like 2 months before they kind of raided her house and her business and yeah. And then Monica said, and that's how I became a witness for the federal government in Jen's trial. And now a real housewife in Jen's place. We learned that Monica is 38 years old. She's going through a divorce. She has 4 daughters, 5, 6, 12, and 17 years old. In her confessional, she's like, oh yeah, I never look this cute. I'm usually in my Christmas pajamas in aisle 8 at 10 o'clock at night buying milk. Because we were out. I forgot. A little later, she tells us, I'm really liking Monica, by the way, but we get a lot of information in these confessionals of hers. A little later, she tells us that she knows Lisa because Lisa would call Jen on the phone. And when Jen would get tired of Lisa yammering on and on, she would hand the phone to Monica. And then Monica would be like, oh, really? Yeah. Yeah, girl, I know. She said, you could set the phone down, walk away, come back 2 hours later, and Lisa would still be talking. Also, apparently, Monica knows all this dirt on the ladies, and it's hard for her to like push it in the back of her mind because she knows all this stuff from Jen about each of the ladies, but she's trying to like have an open mind and form her own opinions. Okay, next is Heather's fresh start party. She has planned this big party with all the ladies, and then she has a surprise for them later. And it's a big, giant snowball fight so that they can all like get their aggressions out. Should be fun. Everyone is there, plus Mary Cosby and some like random friends. In Monica's confession, she said, Jen never had anything nice to say about Heather, which that's shocking. Those two were like thick as thieves. She said Jen never had anything nice to say about Heather, but that's not that big of a deal because Jen never had anything nice to say about anybody. So I'm going to make my own assumptions about Heather, she said. Side note, is Monica going to be the best Bravo hire ever? I like her. I have an immediate reaction. I usually always say I reserve judgment until I know somebody for a while, you know? And in general, I don't like new ladies because I like my old favorites and I don't want to have to get to know a new person and all that. But I gotta tell ya, I'm having an immediate, really good feeling about Monica. Not that she's going to be such a great person or something, but like that she's going to be really good for the show. She's already told us more things in her confessionals than they revealed in all of last year. I feel like it got drawn out so long about who knew what about Jen. Well, somebody told me, I think it was Angie K. Somebody told me they had a friend who was Secret Service and that your business was doing shady things. And Jen would be like, who? This got drawn out the entire season. Well, it was Monica. And Monica just revealed it in the first 2.5 minutes of the show. So I like her. All right. Meredith, I think, is the one that brought Mary Cosby. Because that's getting some mixed reaction from some of the other ladies. Seeing Mary again. Lisa's one of them. I think Whitney, you know, they didn't have the best relationship. And Lisa is the other one. Lisa's like, we didn't leave in a really bad way, but like her last text to me wasn't very nice. Then in her confessional, oh God, she reads her last text from Mary. It goes a little something like this. Lisa, you're the biggest idiot. You're a black widow. You're the biggest liar in Utah. You'll kill people with your nasty tequila. You remind me of a witch. You're not interesting. You're a horrible human being. But does she smell like hospital? So I feel like that's the real question here. Mary is on a mission to talk about Jen. Now she confronts Heather about Jen. I think Mary wants to kind of, not an I told you so, but I think Mary wants to be like, oh, well, you were ride or die with Jen Shah. How do you feel about that now? Do you feel like an idiot? Like, I think that's kind of where Mary wants to go with this. And it's unsatisfying to her because Heather is basically just agreeing. She's like, yeah, I feel pretty good, honestly, with Jen being gone. She said, I feel like a weight has lifted. We see Meredith pull Lisa aside and suggest that they have a one-on-one at some point, go to lunch or coffee or whatever, go for a walk to try to mend their friendship. Let's try and talk. We tried with all the ladies present and that didn't work so well. So maybe we can try this just one-on-one. And Lisa's like, okay, I'm there. Let's do it. So we'll see how that goes. Monica asks everyone that's there, who's read Heather's book? Crickets. Not a single person had read Heather's book. In her confessional, they asked Heather about it, and she goes, I'm not surprised. They're not readers. A little while later, Whitney and Meredith have an epic conversation about ketamine and bathtubs. Not ketamine in a bathtub, but those two things. And it's so good. Meredith doesn't want anyone talking about her marriage, her children, or her bathtub. In Whitney's confessional, she said that I would never imply that Meredith's house was dirty. I don't even know what vacation rental home she lives in now. Bravo, being just as shady as Whitney, is now showing like 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and it's all different homes. Whitney goes, I'd assume she'd wrap everything in plastic so she'd get her deposit back at the end of the lease. And now Heather leads everyone to the snowballs. She's like, I have something special for everybody out in the snow. And immediately Mary Cosby said, no, I'm not doing that. So yeah, but the rest of the ladies are out there. It starts off slow, just kind of lobbing the snowballs at each other a little bit. Also, side note, it's amazing to me what money can buy because it's a company that provided like 1,500 snowballs for them. You know, like all perfectly sized and everything. Like, really? We can't even make our own snowballs anymore? Anyway, like I said, the fight starts a little bit slow, but, you know, it picks up. Some of the ladies are being a little bit more aggressive than others. In Heather's confessional, she said, oh my God, it's like Lord of the Flies out there, which is probably another book they haven't read. That was a good line. It ends with Monica like taking down Angie, rolling around with her. And all you can hear is Angie's voice, my hair, which is a really nice callback to last season when Jen Shah poured her drink over Angie's head after she had her blowout. So that's episode 1. So yeah, I'll keep going with this as long as I can keep them short and sweet. And I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. If you click on the bell icon, you'll be notified every time I post something new. But that's it for me. Thank you guys for being here. I love you, and I'll see you next week. Bye.